Can you think in the history of the world of any other major empire that abolished slavery? I mean,
Watch Andrew Neil absolutely obliterate this black history professor who infamously went on Good Morning Britain and argued that the English flag is racist.
what, the Aztecs, the Incas, the Arabs, the Persians, the Chinese, the Koreans, the North African Barbary slavers who had their own. Can you give me any empire that abolished slavery?
Actually,
Other than the British Empire.
1831 to 1832, there was a Baptist war in Jamaica, the Sam Sharp Rebellion. That was actually probably more important to abolishing slavery than anything else. But it didn't just abolish, Britain didn't just abolish slavery out of its own good. It did it for its economic interests, and two, because the people in the Caribbean who were enslaved were resisting and revolting. They didn't just go step back and say, oh yeah, look, we're great, look, we're fine. It's a moral issue.
No, I'm just trying to establish some facts here in the matter, because as many parts of the world as the 19th century progressed, the British Empire became synonymous not with slavery, but with the abolition of the slave trade and of slavery. Doesn't that earn us some credit against reparations?
No, the worst way to think about slavery is though it is a discrete thing that ended. So the British, yes, they end slavery, but carry on colonialism. So after slavery ends, there's no reparatory justice. There's no payments made. There's no equality. We're just forced, my ancestors were forced to work in very similar conditions, just for low pay. And actually we're still underdeveloped and colonized. This is when this system has not ended. It is still the same system. Abolishing slavery in one form to replace it with colonialism and now neocolonialism does not get you any credit. No, it doesn't, none at all.
No, okay, well, let me try something else, see if it gets us credit. I think I'm knocking my head against the wall here. The British used their imperial power to suppress slavery and the slave trade. At one point in mid-19th century, the Royal Navy was devoting 13% of its total manpower, even though Napoleon was threatening us, to his anti-slavery effort in West Africa. I mean, that must be worth a discount.
Oh, so I was supposed to celebrate that while we were still enslaved, by the way. Like the slavery hadn't ended. Britain was still enslaving people. Just was stopping the trade because they didn't
we stopped the slave trade first and then slavery. But
no, because so if
there's no other country in the world did that.
The reason Britain
we devoted a huge chunk of the Royal Navy to end the slave trade, even though African kings and tribal leaders tried to tell us not to.
The reason they did that was to...
Yeah, it's interesting that the white people are always painted as the evil ones when it was actually the white people leading the way on abolishing slavery, and you had people of colour were the ones who were really resisting the end of slavery. Right, but of course, for some reason, the Brits get all the blame.
This calculation, they could breed the enslaved and keep slavery without the slave trade, and France could not, and it was an economic decision. And it actually,
I'm sorry, we kept that anti-slave trade. We kept that going till 1867, and indeed, after we had successfully abolished the Atlantic slave trade, we moved the Navy round to the east side of Africa to try and stop the slave trade that was still continuing with India. So it wasn't just France. That is not true, and you're the historian.
The reason to do that was Britain's economic interest. It was not because there was some moral crusade against slavery.
Sorry, economic interest. You do realise that Britain massively impoverished itself. I mean, one figure I heard was that we dropped our GDP by 40% in order to end the slave trade. It was very lucrative for us, but for moral reasons, we decided to do the right thing and bring it to an end. What is he on about?
That's my point. This has nothing to do with the moral crusade. The conditions in which people who were formerly enslaved lived in were not much better than they were when they were enslaved.
Well, whatever the motive, we did it. Whatever the motive, we did it, and nobody else did, and a lot of the rest of the world was opposed to it, including a lot of powerful people in Africa as well, and in North Africa. I mean, historians have judged the effort by Britain to end the slave trade as, quote, the most expensive example of international moral action recorded in modern history.
Sorry for laughing, but
no credit for that? No credit for that?
We're doing comedy over there. That kind of history is literally a joke. I'm sorry. The reason that was done, I'm against exploitation. When Britain ended slavery, they did not stop exploiting black people. They carried on exploiting black people. They did the scramble for Africa. They went and exploited more black people. There is no credit whatsoever. Britain abolished the slave trade, went and stopped the slave trade and suppressed the slave trade because they didn't want competition. It was not a moral victory. And anybody tells you that's a moral crusade is simply lying propaganda, absolute whitewash Eurocentric.
Oh dear, oh dear. So that is the Black History professor that went on Good Morning Britain and argued that the English flag and the St George's cross are racist. What do you think? Do you agree with him? Who do you think won that debate? Did Andrew Neil win, or did Kehinde Andrews win that debate? I think I know what I think. I'm Chloe Dobbs. Thank you very much for watching this video. That clip there was from Times Radio. Make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. It's free and it massively helps our channel out, which would be much, much appreciated. And it means that you'll see our new videos coming up, which would be, of course, fantastic because you don't want to miss them, right? Thanks very much for watching. See you next time.